Welcome back to my channel. You may call me Miss Introvert. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thanks for stopping by again. I want to thank everyone who is watching these videos, even if it is the tiniest handful, for your continued support. This is a safe place for introverts and writers. If you're an extrovert and you enjoy setting goals for yourself, then keep watching. We've already covered ideas, what to do with them, outlining, the 3 Ps, person, place, and plot, a writing routine, and now we're going to talk about how you can finish and complete your book. All of this can be achieved by simply setting goals for yourself. I say simply because that is the easy part. The hard part is actually committing to these goals. This is not the last video, by the way. There is still a lot more to go, and you still are going to have to write the book, which I will make more videos on, so stay tuned. Before we begin, if you're new here and you haven't checked out the previous writing experiment videos, then click the link right now and go binge them so that you know what we're talking about and you don't get confused. Subscribe if you're a writer and comment down below your story ideas. I would love to hear about the ideas you guys are coming up with and what you plan to do with them. Alright, let's look at the process of setting goals for yourself. Number 1. Set aside time to write. We talked a little bit about this in the last video, but I cannot stress how important it is to have time set aside to write that you keep consistently throughout the entire writing process. I mean, we all have those days where we just completely run out of ideas, but our books don't depend on inspiration. They depend on a routine. I know it seems like nothing is getting written down, there are no ideas coming to your head, but once you get used to your writing routine and start generating those ideas with certain methods, then you'll be good to go. Well, pretty much. Yeah, there are plenty of days that I have to skip too, not gonna lie. But you've got to keep up that routine and that time you set aside. As long as you stay consistent, writing in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, or whenever you set aside your time, you'll start to develop a healthy habit that will come naturally, like brushing your teeth. However, if this scenario does not make sense to you, you should probably make it a priority to start brushing your teeth. Seriously, those are very important for your well-being. Number 2, where you write matters. In order to get used to writing faster, switching between locations can help and spark more creative originality, but too much of it can cause distractions. So get used to writing in a more familiar place, like a desk, or a table, or a chair, or a couch, or a library, when it's safe to go outside again. To maintain this balance, you can also go outside and write. I used to do this more often until COVID came along and took away that liberty that I probably took for granted. I was already an avid introvert and really didn't do it much anyway, but still sad. Also, writing on a familiar device helps you keep up the habit, like a computer, which I write on, a tablet, a journal, or even a phone. There are so many ways to write now and so many ways to share your writing with the world. This method of writing in a familiar place actually works really well because the brain adapts and remembers specific things about specific places. It's even a good way to prepare for tests and get comfortable with an environment. Say you have coffee when you write. If you keep having coffee consistently, your brain will recognize that it's time to write, and hopefully generate more ideas and diction for your writing desires. Just used a bit of alliteration there. Leave a comment if you want a video about literary elements. I'd be happy to share what I know. Number 3, the truth about deadlines. Now, I know it sounds daunting, especially if you're writing your first book, but you need a deadline. When writers give ideas to publishing firms, they are given deadlines to write their book, like their entire book. So, you want to treat your writing routine like a job. Get in however many hours you need to. And if you're serious about writing, then make sure you have the time and the resources. If you're just writing for fun, then I guess you can take your time, but who knows? You might be able to make a career out of this someday. Now, deadlines might remind you of homework assignments or bills that have to be paid at a certain time. But those deadlines and times motivate you to complete those tasks. If you believe your ideas matter, then make them matter. I believe in you, you can do this. Deadlines also help you organize your schedule so you're not skipping out on certain writing days. Those writing days and times are so valuable to your writing process. And remember, as I always say, no one is watching you and no one is waiting for you to complete this. Unless you're the writer with a publishing firm, then yes, someone is waiting for you to complete this. But no one is watching you. Nothing has to be perfect, you can always edit later. For now, just worry about the rough draft and worry about the rest when you get to it. The last time I wrote a novel was this summer and it took me about 3 months to write it. Guys! Guess what? I just finished a junk draft in 90 days in 3 months. You can do it too. I did not know I was capable of doing that kind of stuff, but there it is. There's the last chapter. Right there, look at it, it's so cool. I did it, and it's finished, and it's done, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It still is a mess. It is a junk draft. It is not pretty, but that means I get to edit it now, which is gonna be amazing. So yeah, I finished it in 1 summer. You can do it too. So 90 to 100 days is a good amount of time to get you started writing your book. According to Jeff Goins, an author and writing instructor, 90 days is a good goal to set for your rough draft. This will also depend on the estimated length of your book and what you want your word count to be, which we'll discuss right now. Number 4, word count. I usually don't worry about word counts because I personally don't think that it's something that I can measure just yet unless I have a very specific outline. Click here for a video on outlines. But I'm more of a stream of consciousness writer that has just like a rough outline that just basically keeps me on track with what I have to do in the certain events in the book. Simple math should get you to a specific word count per day, but let's keep going because I don't want to be the one who is responsible for your wrong word count. Consult a calculator or a math instructor instead, or literally anything else. Math and I do not get along. Anyway, my longest word count for a novel that I wrote a while ago was about 135,000 words or so, which makes it difficult to edit without the price going up way too far. Sadly, money is sometimes where we draw the line as writers, but it does not have to be that way. There are freelancers online, freelance editors and freelance writers. I am one of them. Check me out on Fiverr. Links in the description. Whether it's a short story, a novella, or a novel, they'll edit your short story for a cheaper price. But back to word counts. Most longer novels will measure up to longer word counts, most of the time ranging over 100,000 words. It sounds daunting, but it'll be over before you know it. Novellas can measure up to about 60,000 words, and novels, regular novels, are just somewhere in between. But even if these word count goals aren't set in stone, you can still utilize them to have a rough idea about how long it'll take to write your book. And those are just some of the ways you can set your writing goals and act on them. This is just my take on the subject. There are plenty of other ways to look at this concept, and you can modify my advice however you'd like. Make sure you subscribe if this helped you, and like the video if you're ready to make some goals for yourself. If you want to be featured in next week's shoutout, give this video a like, and comment down below what your goals are for your next book or whatever project you're working on. And this week's shoutout goes to... It really means the world to me when you guys are supporting me on this YouTube path, and I want to make sure you guys are getting the recognition you deserve. Well, that's all for now, folks. You can follow me on Instagram, check out my blog, and find the writing help you need on my Fiverr account. All the links will be in the description below. And stay basic. Okay, bye!